If I had to point at the biggest dangers for the stocks I work on, it would have to be climate change. I think even though Australia as a whole is doing really well in sustainability and looking after its fish stocks, I think we're going to get more challenges in the near future as the environment, which we're already seeing quite a few examples around Australia, start impacting on our stocks.
My name is Arani Chandrapavan. I'm a research scientist working with the invertebrate trawl fisheries in WA.
So my name's Dr. Anthony Hart. I'm a research scientist in the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development.
We manage our fisheries quite well, and our sustainability standard is quite high on a global scale.
And primarily we're actually focused on if there's enough animals or enough breeding stock left in the wild to make sure that they can turn themselves over every year and still be sustained.
When they are not sustainable, I think that's where the negative focus comes on, and that leads to overfishing is a word that's loosely termed, and that category is very, very small. When things are not sustainable and it's not doing well, it's due to other factors, and climate change, the environment is one of them.
With climate change and changing sort of environment, that actually has a major effect, probably often a more major effect than fishing. So we need to be able to predict what's happening with those changes and understand that effect on the populations as well. It's now becoming a major part of our research.
A lot of my work in the last couple of years has been consumed with climate change impacts, solely because Shark Bay, which is my primary focus area, which is also a World Heritage listed area for WA, similar to the Great Barrier Reef, it is recently been categorised as at catastrophic risk from climate impacts, and I've been seeing that for the last couple of years. In a nutshell, these events called marine heat waves occur all over the world, and the frequency of these events are increasing because of global climate change.
The sustainability of a fish stock doesn't mean what it used to mean. Take rock lobster, for example. If we keep doing what we keep doing right now, there is no indication that anything would ever be bad. But it just takes one little environmental perturbation, and if we're not on top of it enough, we'll overfish that stock because the juveniles coming through will be not enough to support that level of exploitation.
So all of this is symptomatic of global climate change, and WA unfortunately is in a place called a marine hotspot, so the water temperatures around here are increasing at a greater rate than globally. So in the next 10 years there's going to be a lot of changes. Some of the negative impacts is that water temperature, especially in the inshore areas up and down our coast, was just way too much for some of the invertebrate species and our fish species. Some of the positive impacts was increased in temperatures brought down a lot of tropical species all the way down to the south coast, and some of these are popular recreational species, so a lot of people were having a ball of a time catching all this great stuff that they will never see down here because it's too cold.
I think the larger problem of overfishing is sort of worldwide and known, and people tend to hear that and roughly know that fishing is an issue, and certainly the studies show that most people think it is a major issue.
It's not surprising, in journalism, the type of stories that get read or exposure or get taken up are always those stories that have sort of a negative context to them. Fisheries Research and Development Corporation, which is a federal group, just released their state of Australian fish stocks. And each year it's just going tick, tick, tick upwards. You know, we're getting more and more of our fish stocks in a really sustainable, healthy level. We have, you know, very few now that are overexploited.
At the department here, we try to do what we call ecosystem-based fisheries management, and as part of that, one of our key objectives with all our fisheries is to minimise the impact of the commercial activity on the environment, including the habitat.
I guess that just comes down to education, and then also for us taking the lead in some things that would demonstrate that we are better fisheries managers than the public might expect.